What's going on, you nerds? Welcome back to the True Nerds Gaming Podcast for episode number 26. We missed last week, but for good reason. We got a awesome video coming out. I can't wait to show you guys. Dan's new project's going to be released to the world, so we're excited to show you that. And this week's going to be a pretty laid-back podcast. It's going to be about collecting video games physical and why it's important. Let's get into it. All right, Dan, you're live.
All right, so I bought a Wii U. Little overpriced, but Cobb's got me all hyped up, worried that I wasn't going to be able to get one, and I've been looking at one for a couple months now, and they've been really expensive for the past while because of the pandemic and the re-interest in gaming and everything else. They shot up to $200+, $250. And so I've just been like holding out. And so I went some physical game shopping a couple weeks ago, saw that they had 2 in stock. I bought some other games. I was like, I'll wait on the Wii U. It's a good price, but I'll just wait. And so I told Cobbs about it, and he goes, oh, that's pretty cool. And so he went in, stopped in the same store, and he's like, dude, there's only one left. I should have bought it. I can't believe I didn't buy it. And I was like, crap, dude, like we're going to miss out on this deal. It looked like it was in really good shape. So I ran over there.
Did you go the same day? Did you go the same day?
Same day, right after you, like a couple minutes, like 20 minutes after we got done talking, I was like, all right, I'm out. I'm heading over here. Bought it. And it is in pretty good shape. But yeah, we looked online and they're like down to like $100, 120 with games, 150 with a bunch of games. And I'm like,
but you know, I was thinking about it. It's funny that I sent you that and I didn't realize you had bought it. Because we talked about it, actually being able to hold it physically versus buying on eBay is almost worth $30 to $40 for me sometimes. Now, I know eBay has their protection, money back guarantee type stuff, but looking at that in the store, it was very clean, and hopefully it is. You said it's in pretty good condition. Was there some flaws that you couldn't really see?
It's It has like just a really tiny rattle on this side.
Okay.
Almost like a screw's kind of loose or a plastic piece, but there's no scratches on this gamepad.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, it's the gamepad's pretty clean, pretty fresh looking.
Yeah.
So, I mean, yeah, it's in really good shape. There's a few scratches on the base unit itself, but they went with this mirrored finish that I just think just attracts scratches, because every Wii U I've seen has had scratches. There hasn't been one in pristine condition.
I was thinking about that when I was looking up some eBay Wii U's, and I don't know why Nintendo decided to go with that reflective.
I mean, like the Xbox One originally did it, I think around the same time as the Wii U came out, and it just always looks beat up. And then they transitioned to a very matte plastic, and it solved that problem. So I'm surprised Nintendo didn't come out with like a later revision or a special edition that was matte, because it would have lasted way better.
Right. So what games did you get with it? Because this is I almost even picked up some Wii U games, even though I don't have one, just for my collection.
So I just bought some stuff that they had there. I got Star Fox U, just because I haven't heard the greatest things about it, but it's a Star Fox game. It's Nintendo first party. I got Super Mario Bros. U new. All the Super Mario games are kind of like are fun and stuff like that, and so picked up those. The pricing was okay, but GameStop was having a sale this weekend where it's any game $9.99 or less, you get 4 of them, and they're $20. And so I got like 8 more games on the way.
See, the problem is you're probably not going to get cases, which scares me off. So I stopped doing that, which sucks. Yeah, and you might get lucky. But the last time I did that online, I think like 8 didn't have cases, and I was so mad because
yeah.
I mean, but at least you get the disc. It just sucks when you're paying for a full game. Now 4 games for $20, that's dirt cheap. But now I make it a point. Well, dude, I even told you when I bought brand new games, they came unsealed because it was their display model, but they say it's brand new, which technically it is. But dude, people have been handling that. That's not new to me. So
yeah, I think anything that says new, it's got to come sealed.
right.
Like that's new. If it's open, then, or if it's a display one, it's used. It's been sitting open in there. The either case has like been beat up or anything like that. It's no longer in new condition.
Right. Yeah, especially when you're buying, like, a lot of the times I'll buy just to have the physical sealed, if I have the game digitally or on Game Pass or what have you. But I'll talk about my purchases in a little bit, but let's get into the topic on why is that important? Why is physical, a must for us, right? You were telling me a story earlier. I cut you off because I wanted to make sure we talked about it on the podcast. But in your opinion, why is it so important in today's day and age to keep collecting physical or playing physical? Well, not even if you're a collector, just physical in general.
I think the big one comes to mind with the Switch right now is Nintendo is going to shut down their store. You're going to be able to keep all the games that you have downloaded, but let's say you have a micro SD card in to keep the 100 games you bought digitally, and the SD card fails. They have a high failure rate. They're some of the cheapest flash that like they put in there. It's not SSD quality. That fails. You just lost all your game collection. It's gone. You can't put a USB hard drive into a Switch and transfer all your games on there. Like, you just lost everything. So you're talking long term, like, I have my Super Nintendo, my N64, my GameCube. I have all that. I can pop it in and I can play it. In 20 years, if my SD card breaks, I won't be able to do that on my Switch.
So you said that a couple of weeks ago about my Xbox collection. It kind of got me thinking. I'm like, man, what if Xbox doesn't become backwards compatible and I have all these discs, like you said, that need these day one updates? Because a lot of Switch games have a day one update, but it's optional. Or not day one, but they just have a patch, but it's optional. It says start software or update. And I got to thinking about that. I'm like, shit, am I wasting my money here? Like, I like the cover art and everything, but even with how much data is on these discs nowadays and with the patches, if they ever shut these stores down, this is going to be a bad news, because everything is pushing, to digital download nowadays, which is good and bad, right? Because physical is now dirt cheap as far as like Xbox goes and PlayStation goes. Nintendo Switch, not so much.
And with a lot of the newer games for like the Series X and stuff coming out, it's like persistently online, right? Like once Destiny shuts down their Destiny 1 server, like the game's done. There's no physical disc that you can put in and like be able to play it. It doesn't download and play. It's always online. Right. And even a lot of single player games, the crummy companies are going to, it's got to check into a server somewhere. So if they shut down that authentication server, and won't even let you play.
Do you think it's a waste of time to physically collect discs? I guess that's a hard one.
I think for the most part, no. There's just right now there's a few exceptions. Xbox One, there was like a very few. But I think going forward we're gonna see more and more. And I feel like the Switch is probably one of the only ones that you're kind of guaranteed that physical media is going to work, right? Because it's portable and it's like meant to play, or they need to make sure it'll play without an internet connection. A lot of games like have to ship day one playable, right? And then get an update or a patch later for extra content or to fix some bugs or whatever else. But it at least has to be in a playable state, so you don't need this online server to check in or anything else like that.
You got into my head, man. I love my physical games, Xbox 360, Xbox One. But when you said that, I'm like,
well, 360's gold. Like there's like online was just emerging there, so there's no like server check-ins for most of them. All those are like
but you saw
on the disc game
stuff.
Yeah,
and it's
they still ship playable for the most part of 360.
But I have more Xbox One games than 360, so it's
Yeah.
I don't know. I've just kind of got my own head
We're
on
gonna
that.
we're gonna be getting into like a weird area of there's gonna be a bunch of games that work and a bunch that don't, or going forward, what are they going to do? Luckily, right now, Xbox is super backwards compatible. So even in the future, that disc is worth something, which I think is absolutely awesome. You can pop that into your Series X and it'll play it backwards compatibility and even upgrade the resolution for you.
Right.
So hopefully they continue that train. Hopefully that we keep that competition between PlayStation and Xbox really high, so that continues to be the case. Xbox seems to be this like we're this ever evolving platform. We're not like system generations, and so all your old games will work on all your new consoles, and so I think there's a good chance that your whole collection is going to work perfectly fine, even on the a system 10 years from now.
Right. The reason, yeah, it's a hard one. It's pretty scary with 3DS closing down and Wii U store closing down. But even going into um, how many years has it been? So when did the 3DS come out? 2012, was it 12?
Mm-hmm.
I mean, you're looking at a 10-year life cycle right there. Now, if the Switch does a 10-year life cycle, so they started in 2017, that's when the Switch came out, March something 2017, I think it was. Um, you're looking at a 10-year life cycle. We're really not that far off, you know.
Nope.
Now, do you think they would shut down the eShop, or do you think they're going to continue on that eShop and keep? Nintendo's notorious for changing up everything. The GameCube the Wii was backwards compatible with the GameCube. And you go into Wii and Wii U, but then also it's like, let's switch it up and go back fully cartridge hybrid. So what do you think they're gonna do? Are they gonna go like a straight home console and then do a handheld again, or do you think they're gonna stick hybrid till they die now because they've got it locked in?
I think this hybrid niche is great for them, and it's only going to get better going forward as like graphics chips become more and more power efficient, that they're going to be able to keep up that way. And then there's a great excuse for them not having next gen graphics, to being a whole generation behind, because they're like, oh, we're portable. You can take this wherever. So I think that's what they're gonna do going forward, is this portable design, because it seems to be really working for them. And then they don't have to have a handheld and a home console, which can be like really scary for hardware launches. Like they were lucky the 3DS kept selling because the Wii U was killing them. They were tanking on the Wii U.
Right.
So I definitely they're gonna keep that going. But will they go all digital on their next one? Probably not their next generation one, but the one after that, almost for sure.
Yeah, I don't know. It's hard because they're always known for their cartridge based stuff. Even with the Wii and the Wii U, you still have those handhelds around. So, and I think that's why Nintendo is so collectible in the collectible market.
Oh, for sure.
Because like you just said, it's always playable. I was even booting on my 3DS or my 2DS and just thinking about like this cartridge in my hand is how old, it was 2007 DS game and it's still working today, but playing like a OG Xbox game, you're worried about scratches and all this and that. The cartridges can make it through a lot of stuff. Now you're just worried about like what the artwork looks like and stuff. But I'll be curious to see if they push their next console same style game cartridges, or if they're gonna be Nintendo and switch it up again and mess around. So I don't know. That is one of the nice things about, like you said, Microsoft playing friendly right now if they keep up,
because they're behind,
right? But
I mean, almost every console launch, when the new one's coming out, you get all the leaks, and I'm pretty sure there was a point where both console manufacturers were like, nope, we're not going to be backwards compatible, and then they get like kickback, or they see it as like a point where they can get an edge up on the competitor. They're like, oh, we're going to be backwards compatible now, and they're like, okay, cool. Where then PlayStation, like when the 3 came out, they had to redesign the whole thing and shove a PS2 in there so that they could be backwards compatible, because originally they weren't. Like they had to physically put a PS2 in every PS3, and that's where their their research and development to be able to do that led them to the super slim PS2 that launched at the end of the generation for like $99.
Right.
That was just like, the size of like a disc case.
Yeah.
And then Xbox, like, this is one of their, like, I think bad points is like the Xbox. Was it the one that launched against the PS3? No.
No, that would have been 360. The
Yeah,
one
the
was against the
360.
PS4.
Okay, so the 360 said it was going to be backwards compatible, but then they had to go game by game and like come up with an update for it, which they got most of the big games, but they didn't get the entire back catalog of Xbox games. There was a game that I was specifically looking for, and I checked back week to week to see if it was going to get backwards compatibility, and it never did.
This was on the 360 or the
360.
Okay.
No, the 360.
Yeah, because that's funny because I remember 360 came out in middle school and you got it right away. And I didn't until my Xbox broke. I remember my mom, actually my mom was awesome about it. My disk drive broke on my Xbox and I was like, oh, and she's like, well, do you want an early Christmas present? I'm like, yeah. And drove me to Best Buy and picked me up a 360. Patty coming in clutch. Same day. She's like, don't tell your dad. Okay. Won't tell
that would have never happened in my family.
Oh, man. Yeah.
I had to bargain with my brother to take his Christmas present, and we'll share the Xbox 360, I swear.
Well, I think she knew that I was just going to annoy the crap out of her if I didn't have that. Because
that's true.
But yeah, so I've been kind of, like I said, you got in my head about the disc stuff, which is funny because you're still worried about future capabilities, even though you are collecting physical. Now you're not just worried about the story going down, you're worried about the backwards compatibility, because if the store doesn't go down and you get everything digital, then you'd actually be safe. But by collecting physical, you might actually screw yourself. But then you look at Nintendo and it's the exact opposite. Their store might get shut down, so it's like, what do you do? Cross your fingers, say a prayer, hope for the best, But I've had a busier week, sick kids, bunch of other stuff going on, and I've actually been playing a lot of Nintendo. And it's funny because, we're PC gamers first. It's been extremely nice just sitting on my couch and playing Nintendo. Like, I always talk about all the achievements and this and that. I haven't had a care in the world this week. I've just been playing Zelda Skyward Sword, which, once you get used to the controls, is so far, I haven't beat it yet, halfway through, one of my favorite Zelda games of all time. Which is hilarious because everyone crapped on that game.
Yeah.
But I think once you get past the controls, because it launched on the Wii. I mean, this is the first game in the timeline, and you have the most contact with Zelda. Like, your friends. You were friends in this game. And it just gives you this emotional attachment to saving her this time. Not just, oh, you're saving the princess. You are saving your friend.
Right.
So
that's awesome.
Game's phenomenal. I'm hooked on it. I'm actually like going through and like doing all these little side quests that normally on a Nintendo game I'm like, well, I don't really give a shit. I think I just cleared that thing out of my head about the achievements, which I guess it depends the game. Like, if I have the choice to play a game on Nintendo or my PC, I'm probably gonna play on my PC, right? 9 times out of 10. But like for first party games, if I can get that out of my head about the achievements, then who cares? So,
I mean, yeah, like we kind of like talked to ourselves this week, and we're like, oh, you're the Zelda guy, and I'm the Pokemon guy, and so like, yeah, like once a new Pokemon game comes out, I'm gonna get it. I'm gonna play it. I'm gonna enjoy it. I'm not gonna have a care in the world, and all those other kind of things kind of just like fade away that everybody's kind of like talking about, or achievements or some other things, and you're just really enjoying the game and the nostalgia of the game, for sure.
So this week I've been playing Zelda Skyward Sword on the Switch. Picked that up. I got that for $30. It was half price at Best Buy. Picked that up physical. And then I've been playing A Link Between Worlds. There's a link between. Yeah, it's Between Worlds, right?
Mm-hmm.
Yep.
I think so.
Been playing that on my 2DS. I get
Just
confused
all
because
Zelda out.
yeah, dude, because they're well, there's a Link to the Past, and then there's a Link
Yeah.
Between Worlds. That's why I get confused there. So I've been playing that on my 2DS, and I am just having a blast, man. It's so fun because when I play on my handhelds, I get that nostalgia back from like middle school, playing these top-down Zelda games, and they look great on the 2DS or the 3DS.
Mm-hmm.
Like, I'm not a huge handheld guy, you know me, but this week I have been. Like, dude, I was playing Skyward Sword on my handheld because my daughter is sick, so she wanted me to go up and lay in bed next to her, but she fell asleep right away. But anytime I'd go to move, she'd kind of
Mm-hmm.
wake up or whatever. So I was like, does this bug you? And she's like, no, Daddy. I'm like, okay. So I'm playing in handheld, and normally I'm like anti-handheld on the Switch. I wanna play on my TV.
Mm-hmm.
There's very few times because I feel like it's a watered down version. Like, I'm not gonna sit on my
Some
couch,
games are,
right?
yeah.
So it depends. But dude, this is running great. It looks great. I'm just having a blast on it. So I'm playing Skyward Sword, Link Between Worlds, and then I wanted to pull the trigger on like 3 or 4 games this week on Nintendo Switch, but I'm waiting. I'm being good, and I'm waiting for sales. I played Metroid Dread demo for the first time. Not a huge Metroid guy, but that the demo was fun. I think I'll pick that up when it comes on sale. And that's another thing I want to mention. It's not really about physical collecting, but the Nintendo's openness to demos. I didn't take advantage of it a lot, and I took advantage of it this week. I downloaded like 6 demos. I'm like, I'm just going to try these games out because I never wanted to buy Metroid. It looked cool to me, but I didn't want to play it. I'll probably pick that up now. And then there's this game. It's called Live Alive. Have you heard of it?
Yeah.
Did you buy it?
Not yet.
Dude, it's fucking phenomenal. It's amazing. It's so good. I'm not a huge 2D, 2.5D type guy. Like,
I am.
I'm not.
Oh my god, I love that. I bought Octopath Traveler and started playing it this week.
Did you did you buy it digitally?
I bought it on Steam, so I could play it on the Steam Deck and on my PC. They launched a mobile game, which I'm kind of torn about Octopath Traveler.
Okay,
because it's free, but it's all microtransaction based versus the other game isn't.
right.
But it's a single player game, so you're like you're summoning like your friends or whatever that you'd have to like meet along the way and
like
incorporate into your thing. Yeah, it's a gacha game, and like it's fun and it works really well on mobile. It just sucks that I can't just buy it for $20 on mobile because the 2.5D HD, man, oh my god, it's so good mobily, it's so good portably, and then on blown up on my 4K screen. Oh my gosh, I love it, dude. Yeah. It's this nostalgia factor that adds a new element to it. And it really brings like some of the hard. It's so hard to go back and play old games that you never played as a kid because the graphics just like they don't do it for you. It's hard to get into it versus the nostalgia factor and the 2.5 HD. I'm like, I want them to do everything. Go back and do all the Pokemon games that were 2D, do them in 2.5D. I'll give you $60 for that game, hands down.
See, like, I guess
it's so good.
I never did the side 2D or the 2.5D, like Zelda top down. I guess that is 2D, right? But I'm thinking like Octopath, like side.
Yeah, so I mean, like, I think they just
it's like shifted and top down.
Yeah, some of it kind of is more top down, but a lot of it they kind of just like shifted your perspective 50% to give it a really nice depth effect. And I mean, I love the depth effect on it's awesome. It like expands the world out for you. So to remake some of those old games, they'd have to go back and do some real work, but they're also editing in like 16 or 32-bit. So it's not like they have to do like insane graphics on it and stuff like that.
One thing I actually watched a video about this though. The 2.5D or the 2D, they have to individually draw all animations. So I think it actually would be a big pain in their ass. Because the reviewer I was watching for Live Alive, he's like, I just want to put it in perspective from a development standpoint. This takes a lot of time to take that NES game and redo it.
It's not just just a straight one for one thing. Obviously, some parts are easier than doing like a full remake. I mean, but you're gonna have to spend a ton of time redoing everything, going from 2D to 3D. If you're gonna like modernize all the graphics, it's gonna take you a long time, right? And so you still have a little bit of that work to do, but you don't have the resolution work to do and stuff like that.
That's true.
So
yeah. So it's funny because I haven't played Octopath Traveler. It's on my bucket list for sure. I'm waiting.
Oh, it's good.
But so I've been looking for sealed versions, and you would think in the Switch's lifetime, the life cycle it's at right now, we're towards that. You think these games would be cheaper? Games like this are not. They're still $60, but you can't buy them in retail stores. You have to get them either on Amazon or eBay, and some of them are even over $60. So like, I really want to grab Octopath Traveler. I want to grab Dragon Quest 11. I want to grab Dragon Quest Builders 2, which is all on Game Pass. These are all on Game Pass, but I want to have the physical sealed because I have a problem. And it sucks because to bite off $180 for something that you know is going to sit there is very hard. But I think the prices are going to rise. I think eventually they're definitely going to rise because they only do limited releases
of a lot of those games, and those limited release ones, those are the valuable ones.
Yeah, Live Alive. People are already talking to like, I don't think they did this many releases physically of this game, so I'm definitely picking it up. I'm waiting for it to go on sale, but I got that FOMO, so I don't want to screw myself. But
did it come out this week?
July 22nd.
Okay, because Walmart does like $10 off for the first week. No,
not anymore.
They got rid of that.
At least for the games I've been looking at. So Xenoblade Chronicles 3 came out on the 29th, and I was like, I'm going to price check Best Buy. Or I'm going to price match.
Yeah.
Walmart didn't do it. Amazon didn't do it. They must be hurting on the physicals or something because they don't
selling enough that they don't have to.
Right. And that could be Xenoblade.
I think that $10 discount is to like get everybody's pre-orders and have them coming to them. But yeah, if Best Buy or the other places are price matching it, then like they're not gaining anymore and they're just losing $10 on every sale that they would have already made.
Right.
So yeah.
And
I wonder if they reevaluated their strategy.
That could just be for that game because I actually went into Best Buy with the plan of buying Xenoblade Chronicles 3 because I heard this game's freaking on fire, like just amazing. Like ACG's like, I'm 70 hours in, this is a review in progress. So it's a game you would hate, but I want I got a lot of games I want right now physically, and it's like, do you pull the trigger when they're full price? I like to wait till they're half price, but with kind of here's how I think. If an Xbox 360 game is under $5, I will buy it no matter what. Typically, unless I walk into a game store and there's a shit like that media outlet, whatever the game store it was called, they had a lot of under $5 games, so I wasn't just gonna load up there. I bought one game. It was a game that I've played. But typically, if a 360 game is under $5, I will grab it. Like I went into a GameStop the other day, and there's Call of Duty Ghosts for $1.99. Yeah, that's an easy one. It's complete in box, whatever. Xbox One games sealed, anything under $10, I will grab it no matter what. And then a lot of the times too, I'll even buy, like if they have those deals, 4 for $20, I will buy those. So I go into GameStop a lot. And dude, $5 Xbox One games, that's why it's so easy to collect for. But at the same time, it's like, I got that thought in the back of my head that you freaking put there. And I'm like, am I wasting my money? Should I not spend the money here and then buy a couple Switch games? Because like, the Switch games I want, even if I get them on sale for 40 or $50, dude, you're still spending a couple hundred freaking
It's,
dollars,
yeah,
man.
and how many Xbox games could have got for two
Exactly.
or three Switch games, you know? With
Yeah.
those 4 for 20 seals, you're talking like 12 to 20 games that you could
Hmm.
get for just a couple Nintendo Switch games.
But at this, on the
Um,
same note, Nintendo first parties are just amazing. The only time I'll collect non first party games or games that have released on other consoles is if I know specifically that one will gain value. So like
mhm.
Dragon Quest 11, I'm going to buy on the Switch, but I'm going to play it on Game Pass because if you look at like the Xbox One version, not a lot of people collect for the Xbox One. They don't. But I know in the
No, yeah,
future, dude, people
everybody's buying digitally right now.
right, which might be good for me, dude. I might have a gold mine. Who knows? People might want the Doom games physical or the Far Cry games physical or Assassin's Creed. You never know. That's the cool thing with
Yep.
collecting. You don't know.
Well, with the backwards compatibility, like immediately once the Xbox Series added backwards compatibility for old Xbox games, Xbox 360 games, you saw the prices come right back up for physical because they were just not, they were trying to just give them away, 99 cents, couple $2-3. You never saw anything over, but all of a sudden they're relevant again because you can play them on your latest console.
Hmm.
It's like, oh wow, they're definitely like worth something physically for sure.
Yeah. Well, you saw when I went into right now. Um, those Xbox One games, $3 to $4, and those are for the like kind of crappier games. Not crappy, but less popular. But then
Mm-hmm.
those AAA games are used or pre-owned $9.99 right now. I backed off, but because I just bought so many games. But I walked in the other day and I saw Star Wars Squadrons and a couple other AAA games, all $9.99. I was like, dude, I should buy these right now, but I can't do that every time because
I know.
it's hard.
I know.
So
I had in my cart today, I had all of the Pokemon games for the 3DS, and they're all like $35 a piece.
oh,
But I was
on
like,
eBay or what?
on GameStop.
Dude, don't. I'm telling you, man. You're gonna miss out.
Yeah.
You're gonna pay full price for a pre-owned game without the case, maybe.
Mm-hmm. I
And
mean, yeah, that's a fair point. I mean, but like you always can return them if like they don't come with the case or whatever. But
that's true. Play that
but I mean,
gamble,
like they're already going for well over $100 complete in box on eBay,
right?
each one of them. And the 3DS ones aren't quite yet because you can still buy them digitally, which is keeping the price low. But I
Lower.
guarantee once that store shuts down, man, like the DS games, Black, I paid over $100 for Black, Black and White, and Diamond and Pearl. I think I got Platinum. That cost me like over $100 to get a complete and box copy. And so the 3DS ones are going to be in the exact same spot, if not more, because that's like the golden age of Pokemon right there.
Right.
Is the DS to through 3DS. Like there are some just really, really good games. Um, so
I actually posted when I was texting you about Pokemon Arceus. I actually poked. Holy words are hard. Um, I posted on Reddit on the Pokemon subreddit. I'm like, hey, because I love your perspective, obviously, but sometimes it's fun to get an outside source. And I was
mhm.
like, hey, I haven't played Pokemon since Silver. Has anyone else been in the situation where they got in recently with this generation of Pokemon? Was it worth it? What'd you like about it? Because you never stopped, really. You might have missed half a generation or something, but
Well, I missed out on the DS generation, which sucked. But they came out with some remakes for Silver and Gold that
mhm.
are some of the best games.
Yeah, Silver was freaking awesome.
Yeah, and the remakes they went like when it, like the problem with the Diamond and Pearl remakes and why I told you like not to get them is they're a straight one for one, and they even have less features than the old ones do, but they just have
So
like better graphics.
what's the Silver remake called? Because
Heart Gold and Soul Silver,
okay,
they went ham. They included like things from the current generation, either if it was Mega Evolution or whatever else. They included other regions. So after you beat the main region, you go to like a couple other regions to like do stuff. Like the game is way bigger and way more focused, and they added just so many other things to it to like bring it up to like a current DS game, and even push the envelope of what they were doing. Where is like the current Diamond and Pearl remakes were just like we're just taking this exact game and we're just putting it on the Nintendo Switch.
Right.
Which was, I mean, a third party company did it. It wasn't Game Freak anymore.
Yeah.
So like there's some issues with that. If you're looking for just a top down Pokemon game, it's a great game to be. It's kind of like that 2.5 HD classic where it's still top down. It goes back to that old style feel, but it's not Sword and Shield, because some people really like Sword and Shield. Some people didn't like Sword and Shield.
Yeah. Speaking of, we never even finished our conversation. You mentioned 2.5D. Live Alive is it's a must own. Like, I played the demo and just a few minutes in, I'm like, this game is something special. And I was watching not a review of it, but this guy's like, this is what Octopath Traveler tried to do, because Live Alive is an NES game. And they said they heavily borrowed from Live Alive, but it's fully voice acted in a 2D game.
I was surprised that Octopath was. Once I started playing, I was like, wait, they have all the voices for everything, well, almost everything. Some of the side conversations that don't mean anything, they just have like a blurb or like a quick thing about it or whatever, but that's completely fine. And yeah. Yeah, like that's insane to be able to fully voice acted this 2.5D. Like they went ham.
And the combat, so Octopath is turn based. I've only played.
I love it.
I've
my god, the combat's so good.
Turn based is the best on handheld. I'll tell you that right now, because you're like, oh, pause, sleep my console, whatever. But I'm playing the China region right now because there's 7 different regions, and I'm just playing the demo, and all the save carries over, which is phenomenal. But this is tactical square turn based, but it's entry level. Like, it doesn't count how many blocks you can move per attack, if that makes sense. Because normally, like, say you play Fire Emblem, so like you can move from here to here, and that takes this many AP points or whatever. This just lets you run around for a certain amount of time, and then you get up close and then whoop the dude's ass or whatever. But I don't know if I want to wait for a sale on it, because I am just that in love with this game so far. I'm like, if I need to take a break from Zelda or whatever, I'll go play like 20 minutes of it. And like, even in the story today, I'm like, it's hard for me to get involved in like 2D stories. I don't know why, because I don't have like a nostalgia draw to it, unless it's a Zelda game. I want to make that clear. But this, I'm just like sitting on my couch this morning, I'm like, oh my gosh, like that just happened. You know, it's pretty cool. I
think voice acting goes a long way with it. If it's a reading one, I'm just like next. I just want to get to the combat. And that's what I found myself doing in the mobile game, because they have everything's voice acted, but it's voice acted in Japanese is the only pack they have out for it. So you're just like reading the thing, and it's like, okay, this is cool, but I want to get to the combat portion of it. Whereas like if it's voice acted, I'm like, wait, nope, I want to listen to this. I'm going to slow down.
Right. Yeah, I can see that. Sometimes I'll actually like read faster than the voice actor, and then I'll hit next. So, but I like getting the story out. I don't know.
But it brings you in a little bit more, right? It kind of forces you to engage, and so then you're reading it faster and then you can skip it once you've got like the gist of like what you need. Versus if I have to read the entire thing, it's almost always just, hey, I want to get it. Or I start off reading it, and it's like, this is too much. It requires too much of your focus. It's the same reason that I generally don't like subtitled like anime watching that stuff, is because like I can do it
down.
Yeah, I can do it like maybe if I'm trying to catch up week to week. It's only 20 minutes. It's not that big of a deal. But if I'm trying to catch up on an entire series, where I'm just binging the series, it's like after an hour, I'm just exhausted from like, you can't look at your phone, you can't grab a drink or like go grab a snack, because you have to be focused in on like what everything's saying, because you can't be like, oh, this is like a not important conversation. I'm just going to tune out and do this. And oh, something's coming back. I can re-engage with it. You can't do that when it's subtitled, because you
Right.
have to be focused on it. And that's where, like, same with I think playing a game is like you can tell if the conversation's important, so you can re-engage with the story. Oh, this
Mm,
conversation's not important. I can already tell. Skip, skip, skip. And kind of like keep that going. And so it kind of like pulls you in and keeps you focused.
yeah. Um, I was just gonna say something. It was probably gonna be super intelligent. Hmm. Oh, yeah. So my pickups. My pickups this week. So I got Skyward Sword. I already told you about that. That wasn't this week, but that's what I'm playing. I got A Link Between Worlds, which is again about that a long time ago, but I just got in Phantom Hourglass complete in box. So now this is like a $40 game. It's a Nintendo DS game. It's one of the more expensive ones. It came out around the same time as Spirit Tracks, but that game is like $70 to $80. Nintendo DS Zelda game. So I got this game. I got that game, and I got new Super Mario Brothers, and I
Nice.
got I can't think what it's called now. Do you remember what it's called? I texted you. I
Nope.
gotta look now. It's gonna bug me. Um, Jump Ultimate. It's a Japanese import. So I got all of these for $45 when Zelda's 40 alone, and these are
Mm-hmm.
pristine. I mean, dude, these are mint. I thought they were fake when I got them, because like you can look at them on eBay and you're like, oh no, those don't look like reprints. There's certain things you can look at, which I'm sure you know, especially dealing with the
Mm-hmm.
Pokemon scene, dude. Like people repo these things all the time. Um, they were so clean. I sat there and I like went the extra mile to look like, okay, you know, how's the O on Nintendo look? Like you're flipping it up, looking under where the
Mm-hmm.
cartridge is, seeing if you can see the white lettering. You're looking for the trademark symbols. Is there any scuffs on it? And there was like some use, you could tell they were played and this and that. But I'm like, this I'm pretty sure they were adult owned, or they were actually just part of a collection, because these things are beautiful. So $45. I'm only keeping Phantom Hourglass. I'm selling the other two games. So essentially, and this is how I like to collect, is I like to buy games at a good price that I don't want to keep, and then I'll flip them.
Like
So
a
that,
bundle, or just like, are you talking
yeah,
just like anything you see at a good price that you can flip, or if you
yeah.
get a bundle where you like one or two and you sell the other ones for, and then like recoup the cost of like the one or two that you want to keep?
I prefer bundling just because if I start buying anything, I know myself and I'll be like, well, I'm just going to keep it.
Right.
So I like to typically bundle. And what I found bundling too, and this is just for eBay, right? Like, you know, if I want a specific game at a game store, I'm just going to wait for a sale or whatever. But I found when people bundle stuff on eBay, it's more legitimate typically, because it's not someone
Yeah,
selling.
it's usually somebody just like trying to get rid of their like kids
Right.
stuff or their childhood things, and they have like a big collection. And
There's less
yeah,
worry of reproduction and
yeah, who's gonna like reprint a bunch of random things and bundle it to like sell it?
right.
Like
Yeah.
almost no. Yeah, if they're reprinting it, they're gonna be like, yeah, you're looking for these one like big hit titles, the
Yeah.
Pokemons, the Zeldas, yeah, Mario's.
So, um, and then two, I found I will get them a lot cheaper because of the title. The title doesn't hit that eBay algorithm or the
Mm-hmm.
search
Because then,
better.
yep.
So it'll be like, you know, whatever. And if they don't put lot in there, it doesn't hit the mainstream. You know, like you could say Nintendo Switch lot or Nintendo DS lot. If they don't have that in there, or they don't use the right naming convention, a lot of people don't bid. So I bid at this one for, I think the bid was at $35 a day out, and I was like, I'll put my max 45 and see what happens. And then also I
Mm-hmm.
got the notification you won for 45. I'm like, holy shit. When one game's already worth 40, I essentially got two games free. You know, after I sell, I'm getting that game for 15 or $20 once it's a
Yep.
$40 game. So super excited about that. I almost do this morning. I almost won a bid that would have made me $100 super quick. Um, Last night when I was going to bed, I saw it was Skyward Sword on the Wii. It was Twilight Princess on the Wii, and then Wind Waker on the GameCube complete in box. And it was $25. One bid for $25. That's how low they started it. I'm like, dude, okay. So
What did it sell at?
just wait. So I watched it. You know, you can hit the little heart. And this morning I was like, hey, the bid's about to go 15 minutes or whatever. So I was like, it was still the same price. I'm like, whatever. I'll put what I bid at. I put a bid for max 37. It's like, whatever, if I win it, because like sometimes you just don't want to deal with reselling shit. I would have probably kept it all, honestly. But
for Zelda games,
dude, the fucking bid one for $38. Wind Waker's a $70 game. Skyward Sword's a $40 game, $30 to $40 game. Like, all profit. They just started the bid too low. I should have been. I was hanging out with the family. I wasn't really paying attention to it. I should have bid higher, put $50 or whatever. But yeah, so good tip. Look for the
bundles.
Look for the bundles, man. Just
dude, that's big brain stuff right there. Like you said, like great strategy. Like if you're looking for, you get 1 or 2 games, a bundle of 5, you can sell the other ones and then you're getting the games you wanted for almost free or for like reduced price. Put those in the collection. That pays for it. Yeah, because you're looking, paying $20 to $30 a piece or $60 a piece on the Switch. It adds up really quick. And you're like, man, I want to build out my collection and I want this and I want that, but I just can't. Like, I'd have to not do anything else with my money, right? Except for put them into here.
Yeah, and you kind of gotta like. I'm an overall collector. Like we're going from the purpose of media, physical media, to this, but whatever. I like talking about this. We have been kind of off track for a while about collecting versus physical media, but at first I was like, oh, I want to be a Zelda collector. Oh, I want to, and then I enjoyed it. I'm like, okay, I just want to be a Nintendo collector. Oh, I just want to be an Xbox One collector or whatever. What I do now is I buy the games I like and I collect that way. So like right now, pretty much all my Switch collection, I will never just be one of those people that buys every Switch game they see that's a good price. I am a Switch first party collector of games I enjoy. That's it. That is how I title it for myself. With Zelda. So I
wish I would have bought the physical copies when the Switch first came out, because I had about every single game that they launched, just because they were in the first 12 months. Like,
that's all they had, only 7 or 10 games.
Yeah, and so, dude, I was buying everything up digitally because I was like, I just like playing. I don't want to mess around with all these cartridges and stuff like that, and didn't even think about it. I had so many. I bought a 500 gig micro SD card. I can't fit my entire Switch collection digitally on a 500 gig micro SD card. You know how big my collection would be?
Yeah.
I'm so stupid.
Yeah. And there's pros and cons of digital. Like, yes, it is a pain in the ass to switch cartridges all the time and blah, blah, blah. But to me, it's worth it. So, but you also have a lot of eShop sales, so you can get a lot of deals there. But then on the flip side, you can get a lot of physical games on sale. So
yeah, I definitely think like these next like Black Fridays or any of the big GameStop sales, definitely going out. And if they're cheap, sealed, brand new, yeah, for sure,
eat them up.
I'm picking those up, definitely.
Got to pick up the games you've already bought digitally.
Yep. So to circle back, you posted on Reddit about the Pokemon games. Did you get an answer or anything about that?
Yes, I did. So a lot of people responded to me, which I thought was cool. You know, Pokemon community, right? They're big. But I wasn't even thinking, but yeah, there's a bunch of people that are like, yeah, I missed all these generations. And pretty much the overall consensus, though, they didn't like the current gen minus
Sword and Shield.
Arceus. Yeah. They're like, skip this generation, but we're not talking Arceus. You know, they kind of left that out. They kind of left it for the top down. A lot of people said do the silver remake or black, I believe it was.
Mm-hmm.
So they're like, do the silver remake if you want to stay in your comfort zone, but they're like, or if you just want to dive into the new Pokemon, go black. So,
Dude, black is so I'm literally playing through black 2 right now, which I think for that generation it was like that version's like yellow version or crystal version. Like normally they release 2, and then like later on they'll release like a one singular one that's like bigger. But for black and white, they did black and white, and then they just did black and white too.
Okay.
So there's like 4 kind of games, but like those are the yellow versions of the black and white.
Gotcha.
So I'm playing through black 2 right now.
Are those on 3DS or DS or what are they?
DS.
Okay.
Yep, DS.
3DS
and like
over.
they are some of the best Pokemon yet. And like this is where they started to. The reason I didn't like it when I was going through is like I just hit high school at that point. Pokemon was already a little bit like too like youngish for me, like at the time. But they shifted from top down to like a more 3D kind of graphic thing, and they were pushing the limits of what the DS could do.
Mm-hmm.
Going back, I think they look great. I don't know why they like turned me off initially, but yeah,
no
black and white are great.
Me with the GameCube, man. I was like, I want to play Xbox. Stupid.
Yep, exactly. I think you should start like, I wouldn't jump into the Switch generation right now. Besides Arceus, that was just so much fun.
Mm-hmm.
But definitely, I would start with Soul Silver and Heart Gold remakes. They are like the best, but they are my favorite Pokemon games.
Ooh, I gotta look them up right now. So Soul Silver
and Heart Gold.
Nice.
Like they are what like the gold standard of a remake is. Like those are it right there.
Oh my god.
For sure.
A graded one. $1,648.
Dude, they're the gold standard, man.
Dude, $140 complete in box.
I have my Soul Silver, or everything for Soul Silver. I don't have Heart Gold.
Well, this was Soul Silver.
Yeah.
Dude, for the cartridge, it's $93. See, this is why part of me is like, maybe I should, like, but this isn't a well-received Pokemon era, like you were saying.
Mm-hmm.
Maybe Arceus. Arceus might be worth keeping one.
Arceus is great, man.
I'm just talking so much future, fun. Right? Like future, just having that complete in box.
I honestly though, if you can get a sale on Sword and Shield, there's not a Pokemon game that's like well priced right now, right? Even some of the like poorly received ones are a lot of money. So like if you see a sale on them, I'd keep them sealed.
Yeah, and they're $50 right now at Best Buy, but that's a lot of money.
But the next game's coming out this fall. The next like
I just hit out like in the wild. I just hit my space bar and stopped recording, but we are back to recording, so I apologize about that. It was like 5 seconds. I was like, oops. And then it said recording saved. I'm like, huh. Yeah, it's funny when I collect physical, or think about the physical media in the future. Some games will just kind of like coast and stay at those prices or they'll drop, but that there's those certain niche games that like Dragon Quest is one, Pokemon, the East games. You don't know the East games, but
I've heard you talk about them a bunch, and now I've been hearing them all over the place, and they're
phenomenal. Hack and
they're
slash,
like
awesome
they're not
stories.
like mainstream popular, but there is like a hardcore group of people that absolutely love them, and they're rare because they're not super popular. Yeah. So,
like I said, East the collector's edition's already $400, and that game came out a couple of years ago. I have East 9 collector's edition. I'm curious to see what that's going to get priced at eventually. But
well, this is a great topic to bring up. What I found in my basement the other day.
Yes. you never posted it, man. You gotta start posting your pictures.
Well, I will for it's perfect topic for this podcast or whatever. Okay. But I was listening to a different gaming podcast, and they're talking about really rare stuff for the GameCube. And one of the dudes on there, he's like, my most like prized GameCube like piece is Pokemon Ruby and Sapphire box. And he's like, I wanted it for years. I saw it at a trade show. I bought it for $1,500. I was like, How much? Are you freaking kidding me? $1,500. I had that game, and I swear I still had like I saw it like a couple years ago when I was like moving. I saw it, and so I'm not one to like throw out Pokemon games, and so I was like, dude, I gotta go home. And so I saw you like just a little bit later. I told you about it. Ran home, was going through all my GameCube stuff, couldn't find it. And I was like, the message was like, dude, I think I like must have like got it. It got put in a donate bin somehow or thrown out by somebody else but me. But it's like not with my GameCube collection, like like crap. And so then, funny enough, after we were doing like working on the next big video project that we got coming out, like after you were here, I was looking for one cable to like finish up some stuff, and I like stumbled upon like a bunch of Xbox 360 games and a couple GameCube games, and there it was. Pokemon Ruby Sapphire box.
$1,500. The box alone is $1,000.
Yeah, just insane.
Stupid. Did you?
And the whole reason that it's like that is because it wasn't a Pokemon game. It's literally just storage for your Ruby and Sapphire games.
Mm-hmm.
It comes with a cable that I have that plugs into the GameCube controller port, hooks up to your Game Boy Advanced, and you can just like store extra like Pokemon, which is weird that I bought it because I've never filled up a game, one of the like, Pokemon games, like ran out of storage. Not even close.
You probably thought it was another Pokemon game or something.
I don't know what I thought, but I bought it. I was all about it. And like I remember putting Pokemon on there and just I don't know, like I think I wanted to put them on there and then restart the game and like do things differently or pick a different starter and like bring them back or whatever. Right. But because it wasn't a game, nobody bought it. And it was like just everyone just crapped on it. Why would they release this? It's a full price $50 GameCube game for just extra storage. So stupid. And now it's worth $1,000 to $1,500. And it's like finally something from my childhood. I told my wife about it, and she, well, I don't think is gonna let me, but we'll see what I can like snake here.
Yeah,
I don't know where to like sell it though either. Like, am I gonna put it up on eBay? And
I won't. You're gonna lose too much on the price.
Yeah, exactly.
Because they take a percentage.
It's not gonna go for the like full asking price of $1,000, I wouldn't think, or it's gonna sit on there forever for $1,000.
Right.
So it probably wouldn't move for like less than or around 800 to 900, and then eBay's going to take their cut on it, and then I'm left with.
Here's what you do:
$600-700.
Here's what you do: post it for a price that, post it for $1,500 or $1,600, right? Just buy it now. They'll sit there for months. It's a win-win. If someone pays the money, they pay the money. If they don't pay the money, guess what? You still have it in your collection.
I'm collecting it. Yo.
That's right. So you can tell Maddie, be like,
it's for sale.
It's for sale. I don't know.
I'm not taking a dime less than $1,500.
Retro Rick. I don't think you've watched him yet, but he has Super Mario Brothers 3 sealed, and he got it graded, and it came back like a 9.8 A++ or something. I mean, it's a very expensive game. Yeah. And he did the same thing. He just posted on eBay for a little above, like, a really good asking price. And he's like, I'm going to let it sit there if someone pays for it. If they don't, it's my centerpiece.
Yep.
So.
Very true.
But, anyways, so, yeah. I think we got to wrap it up. Number one, I have to go to the bathroom.
Absolutely not.
Really bad. I've been getting I don't know if you can tell, I'm getting kind of jittery. And number two, we got to talk more about our other video. So
that's right.
You good with it?
Mm-hmm.
All right. For those of you that stuck around, truly appreciate it. We say this all the time. If you're new to the channel, hit the subscribe button, like, share, do all that YouTube shit, please.
And stay nerdy.